Hello, and thank you for watching our Salesforce troubleshooting tutorial. In this video, we'll be walking you through troubleshooting Salesforce issues utilizing CloudReady Synthetics and Service Watch. With how important Salesforce is to organizations using it, it is critical to ensure its uptime and availability. Salesforce issues in general are costly to organizations due to potential revenue loss, employee productivity loss, the downtime cost for customers, as well as other impacts. Salesforce is continuously evolving. With updates being applied, migrations being done, or new functionality getting added, it's important to be collecting the performance data for benchmarking properly and know when to point the fingers at Salesforce. Unfortunately, Salesforce does not provide any troubleshooting tools to resolve issues that are impacting end users. If the issue isn't in the Salesforce infrastructure, there is a complete lack of visibility into what is causing the issues. Our CloudReady Synthetics will continuously test Salesforce, allowing you to be notified when Salesforce is not accessible or performing poorly. Whether it be an environmental change that was made or issues in the Salesforce infrastructure, you'll know much faster, allowing you to notify your end users and come up with either a solution or temporary workaround. The Service Watch browser extension, when configured to monitor Salesforce, will provide you with deep insight into the browser and network performance, while also capturing any customization issues causing errors applied to the Salesforce tenant. By combining the two, you'll have proactive notifications alongside all of the metrics required for troubleshooting the issue at the end user, network, and application levels. You'll also have all of the data available for benchmarking pre- and post-upgrades to Salesforce, such as changes to Salesforce Lightning or Hyperforce and migration. In this scenario, we'll start off in our CloudReady overview dashboard. Currently, the sensor is not detecting any issues, so the icon is green, but if there were issues, this would switch to red. By pulling up the sensor, we'll be presented with the data being collected. The alarm section at the bottom will contain any recent alarms that have affected the sensor, and errors will show you any errors that the sensor may have experienced over the specified time period. The tabs at the top will contain the different metrics being collected by the sensor. On the Login and Render tab, the metrics reflect how long the login process is taking. The values on this tab will be much higher if multi-factor authentication or single sign-on are experiencing slowdowns, or networking issues which can be expanded on in the Connect tab. The Page Layout tab will show you if there are issues with the page itself loading. Heavily customized pages can experience slowdowns while loading, which will be reflected here. The Connect tab will provide you with all of the connection information from the sensor to Salesforce. If a proxy is causing slowdowns, the proxy connect time metric would be much higher. Always compare your metrics to the crowd. If you're seeing your sensors performing worse than others, you may need to make some environmental changes or look into the Salesforce instance itself, as it may not be optimized. If the crowd is spiking alongside you, it is more likely that Salesforce as a whole is experiencing problems and not just yourself. Now let's say only one user was experiencing the issue and you were looking to figure out why. You would start off by pulling up the user's machine by clicking on the magnifying glass, then typing in their username or device names. Once their device is pulled up, select the time range the user was experiencing the issue for and make sure their resource and experience scores aren't impacted. You'll also want to verify the network latency and utilization. If the device is running out of resources, that alone could cause them to have poor Salesforce experience. If the user is experiencing issues with the Outlook plugin for Salesforce, you can check for application crashes related to the plugin, as well as see the traffic from Outlook to make sure there are no connectivity problems in the connected networking. If the device itself is okay, you would move on to Service Watch browser's data. The fastest way to do so is by clicking into the web scores. Once here, select the Salesforce domain from the list of domains and select the end user experiencing the issue if you only want to see that user's browser metrics. Once your filters are applied, you should see the web experience score, or WXS, being impacted. In the Request Segments section, you can identify if a slowdown is happening for the end user's device, across the internet, or in the Salesforce infrastructure. Page metrics can be viewed to identify which parts of the page are the slowest to load, and the network path performance will provide you with the route the traffic is taking to reach the Salesforce server. You can get additional details by selecting one of the entries to populate the Network Path Performance tab at the bottom. In the Errors tab, you will be presented with any errors generated for the monitored pages. You can add additional filters to specific errors or domains. The Data Point Details tab will provide you with the timings waterfall. The timings waterfall is a great visual representation of the entire transaction from the browser to the page. This will help you identify if there are issues with the connection or page itself. If you believe there are issues with the Salesforce page itself, you can look at the Transactions tab at the top to see how long a page or page asset took to load when the end user clicked on something for that page. As a process of elimination, you can verify that the user is experiencing the issue on other pages under the Users section. If all of the monitored pages being accessed from this browser are experiencing problems, you know that the issue isn't solely on the Salesforce side. You can do the same but by domain instead of user in the Domains tab at the top. The last thing I wanted to bring up prior to wrapping up this video was a custom dashboard that was built to quickly view how Salesforce is performing from both the synthetics and end user's perspective. On the left, you'll see the performance of the synthetic over a 24-hour period, as well as the alerts, errors, and availability over the last 7 days. On the right, the performance for the end users accessing Salesforce from their browsers. At the bottom right, the device user search widget allows you to quickly pull up a user's device from the dashboard. These dashboards are a great way to provide your app owners with the visibility they need to ensure Salesforce is running well. You can also configure the dashboard to be sent as a weekly report for your management team or anyone who may need it in the organization. We have some great videos on building custom dashboards that are linked in the description below. And we also offer custom dashboard building services. Reach out to us for more information. As you can see, by combining both CloudReady Synthetics and ServiceWatch Browser, you'll be able to identify the root cause of Salesforce issues much faster, allowing you to resolve them quicker. You'll be proactively notified of issues, allowing you to communicate to your team that there's a problem, preventing a ticket spike. When individual users report issues only affecting them, you'll have all of the telemetry required to resolve their issues. You can also use the data from ServiceWatch Browser to identify if changes made to your Salesforce environment are impacting the user. Now that's a wrap for our video. Thanks for watching.